Hello, everybody. As you're all coming into the space, I'm also admitting people through Zoom's waiting room function. So I'm multitasking. I'm not very good at that. Pushing a button that says admit to each person that arrives. It's so good to see you all.
To see you too.
Thank you. So we're just preparing the space for our first of the month gathering here, which is a little bit different in the sense that it's open to everybody, not just those who participate weekly in the membership group, but to everybody who feels resonant and wants to experience what this is all about. So as we allow everybody to just settle in and gather, you can look around on your own screen and see all these beautiful beings appearing right before your very eyes. It's such a joy. And it feels like such a miracle. So let's take a breath together of this miracle of our converging. The mystery of what prompted a yes in you to, yes, I'm going to spend this time here in this animal and nature assisted awakening gathering, whatever it might be. So just give yourself a little time to settle in and really just sense yourself. Feel yourself here. Feel yourself fully here. Give yourself time to breathe your way fully here. I'm just looking at everybody. Hello, Chua. Hello. So good to see you. So as we all settle in now, feel the simplicity of it. Just feel the simplicity of this moment. Or open to allowing the experience of simplicity of this moment. I'm sitting here outside, the sun so bright as you can see. The horses are just finishing up their second breakfast. So they'll be gathering more intimately when they're not distracted, but they're here with us. And as I was sitting preparing for our gathering this morning, someone on a bicycle stopped at the end of our driveway and took a picture of the herd. They were all lined up at the very exact angle, eating out of their hay troughs. So each of their hind ends was at the exact same angle all the way down the fence line. I hadn't even noticed how beautiful that was until someone stopped to take a picture. And right now, as I'm looking at you, I see Michael and Karen, and over your little faces here on the screen is this tiny spider crawling on my screen, right over your faces. Just so many miracles.
Weaving us together.
Yeah. Yeah. So this first of the month gathering, we begin a new topic, and I always feel a little bit of pressure because I'm not often sure what that topic will be until moments before. And when I came out today to sit with the herd, they had finished their first breakfast and they were all in such a deep space. And I felt so much unclarity. I just didn't feel clear at all. And I started to panic because how was I ever going to open to clarity, which is my deepest desire to share with you and co-create with you from a clear, simple, undistorted place. So I reached out to a dear soul friend and said, "Oh my gosh, what should we focus on today? I feel so unclear." And I felt this just by asking and the humility of asking her. I felt this opening. And I started to tune into the moment. And I could feel this clarity right there, still not knowing what it was. But I could feel that clarity was here in this very moment. And then this ever-present soul friend said, "Well, why don't you focus on clarity and how to get there when you are in the storm? How do you get to the eye of clarity in the storm of unclarity?" And all the horses then came in and created this amplification of clarity. It was beyond words. They just all came in. And Yoshi, who has the most luminous and lucid eyes, she buried her eyes into my eyes. And she stuck her head in and just breathed with me. And then the transmissions that I'll share with you came through. So I wanted to let you know that it's not always an easy process for me, and that the process is perfect, even when it is filled with what seems to be obstacles. So here we are, and welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you for co-creating clarity. Thank you for bringing whatever you bring. I was going to send out a post and say, just bring yourself, don't worry if you're not feeling clear or if you're not feeling in a good place. Just bring yourself here and see what happens, because that's what I did. So from this place, we take a breath of simplicity together. Just open to being here. And as we always begin, we call in a ritual invocation. We call in all of nature and her beings and all the support beings, seen and unseen, to join us. Well, they're already here. When we call them in, there's something quite powerful, and we can feel it in the group space. So let's begin. First, calling in yourself to be here and welcoming yourself. And then calling in all the kindred human beings who are ever evolving on this earth plane as one heart. And notice that the deeper we go in calling ourselves in fully, the less separate we are from what we are calling others. And then thinking of all the animal beings that intimately share your day-to-day journey. Calling them in, those who are still in their forms and those who were in form but are now in the formless realms, or those who never came into form in our spirits guiding always. Light bodies, light beings. We call in this herd of light, Yoshi, Taz, Teddy, Khalil, Travis, and the unseen Omar, and all of your heart herds who are part of this one herd. That includes the canine beings who bring us unconditional love, and the feline beings who purr their way into our hearts, the winged beings who sing their songs of joy, the oceanic beings of the depths, and those who leap on the surface. The whales and dolphins, stingray, seahorses, fish, octopus. We call in all the Arctic beings, the rainforest dwellers, calling in the safari beings, those great, wise, light beings disguised as elephant, giraffe, zebra, gazelle, tiger, lion, hyena, monkeys, gorillas, orangutan, lemurs, sloths, and all the farm animals who we love so dearly, cows and calves, pigs, piglets, goats and sheep, chickens and geese. We call in rabbits, forest dwellers, squirrels, fox, insects, bees, spiders, hummingbirds, the tiny ones, the worms and the microbes and bacteria, and even the coronavirus, all the viruses in the unseen world. We call in the trees, the flowers, the plants, minerals, the crystals, the stars, the star being of light, the heavenly bodies, the galaxies, the planets, the galaxies that we don't know of, the elements, the ether. Just feel the convergence here. Feel the sacred container of this convergence. As Teddy and Yoshi breathe at the center, as our breath meets as one breath. So, beloveds, let us open now, as children of nature do. Just allow pathways that you might not use regularly to be put into play. To listen and receive through the soles of your feet, through the antenna, the crown of your head. To listen, to feel, to the cells of your skin, and through the gateway of your heart, and through that portal at the back of the head. Just opening now to allow these transmissions to dance as vibrations, holding the words loosely and letting what wants to fall away, and what wants to realign or be born to be born within. So, on clarity, to directly know, embody, and understand clarity from the inside out, one must fully know, embody, and understand distortion from the inside out. Your understanding has evolved from pathways of opposites and manifested polarities. So we will use these same pathways now with you to assist this deep, embodied transformation. There's Yoshi releasing for us. Thank you, Yoshi. Nature lives, breathes, births, and dies quite simply, all through an undistorted and unmanipulated consciousness, uncovered. And you all came into this world of nature with this same inherent naked clarity. Naked clarity is a quality of light, dancing as conscious, undistorted consciousness. Conscious, undistorted consciousness. So what are these distortions that cloud your lenses of direct perception? And how can you find your way back to your inherent natural clarity of being? There are many, many lenses that you use. But first, we point out three prominent aspects of light dancing through the human collective. And that is all these distortions are. Light, dancing, that we feel and see and know about our human nature family. First, we see that your focus is pretty obsessed with stories. You weave stories in the blink of an eye. And there's no problem with creating stories or keeping track of life's comings and goings through a matrix of stories. No problem at all. In fact, quite beautifully created. The perspective of consciously viewing through a lens of story, however, has been lost sight of. And that creates unconscious distortion. Or shall we say, light dancing as unconscious distortion. Secondly, to take part in a story, and most of you take full part in your stories, there must be characters. And in your story, typically you are the most important character. And you have woven your feelings and ideas of knowing of who you are so tightly in intricate, nuanced weavings of identifications with your character in a story of life. Again, there is no problem in this distortion, or shall we say, in light dancing as distortions of identity. In fact, it is quite beautiful, this creativity. However, the perspective of consciously viewing through the lens of identity has been lost sight of, and this creates unconscious distortion, or shall we say light dancing as unconscious distortion. And thirdly, there is a lens you ritually look through of overlaying past and future onto here and now. And again, there's no problem in this distortion. It is, in fact, quite beautiful, a form of creativity. However, you have lost sight of consciously overlaying past and future onto the here and now, thus creating light dancing as unconscious distortion. So now, having named these distortions, seeing them, simply allow these habitual distortions or unclear lenses to be made fully conscious. Allow them to be fully seen right here with us, right now. Allow them to be witnessed, to be understood from the inside out. And then simply fall into the now, with all of nature meeting you as clear seeing, as self meeting self. Simply fall. So now, having named these distortions, the first is the lens of viewing life through story. Again, nothing wrong with this. In fact, beautiful is its creativity. Making this conscious. Secondly, the lens of being a character. Perhaps the most important character in the story, and then identifying with the character. Again, simply making this conscious, this creativity, this light dance. And thirdly, overlaying past and future onto here and now. Another wondrous form of creativity to be made conscious. And then falling. Just feel yourself relaxing and softening. A freedom of falling into the now and being met by all of nature, by the whole universe, as clear seeing itself. So let's feel this deeply through all these pathways so that the unconscious can be made conscious. Here in this accelerated, amplified state that we have intentionally said yes to. A reclaiming of this uncovered, undistorted, naked clarity. And if you feel to call in a being in nature to come and just breathe intimately right here and right now. A guide, a support to awaken this remembrance. To allow that light of undistorted consciousness to become free within you, to touch every cell, every organ, to infuse every subtle center. Breath by simple breath. And notice how this being has no aversion to the creativities and the complexities that might surface in the mind, the human mind. They're simply amplifying, making this conscious so that creative lenses can be made known. And so that clarity can be made known again. And imagine right here with you breathing, this being now looks directly into your eyes. With a clear self-seeing. With an undistorted, in the moment, free, clear self-seeing. And we'll continue to breathe this breath of remembrance as we take in this last transmission. And what do all of these lenses of distortion, all of these creative lenses of light, dancing through distortion, have in common a lens of separation. And this lens of separation itself is not a problem. Again, it's a highly creative lens of light dancing through the appearance of separation. And simply bringing this unconscious lens again, this unconscious lens of separation again into the light of consciousness changes everything. It changes everything from the inside out, where inside and outside melt into one. What do all of these lenses of distortion, all of these creative lenses of light dancing through distortion have in common? A lens of separation. And this lens itself is not a problem. Again, it's a highly creative lens of light dancing through the appearance of separation. Simply bringing this unconscious lens of separation into the light of consciousness changes everything from the inside out, where inside and outside melt into one. So feeling this inner standing so deeply. Breathing so deeply. With all of life inside of you. Where the inside and outside melt into one field of clarity. And gently breathing this in and out, these transmissions. Just feel your inner being. And falling deeper and deeper into this moment. As we've all just bathed in these light rays that are amplified by the whole. And let's allow this now to ripple from the depths out into the whole. We'll gently begin to shift our attention now into the group space, still remaining anchored in those depths that you've been bathing in. Just begin to look around and take in your environment here and now, the simplicity. And sometimes it's difficult to speak, to share, and to make an offering into the space of perhaps what your experience was, or what you, perhaps some inspiration or question or insight that came. But now is a sacred time in our gathering where this will be shared with resonant beings, and this conversation, this dialogue portion is a very profound symphony that, although it may seem very personal when you're speaking, there's a quality of the one heart listening and speaking. So there's something that you're saying that is really for us all, and how it dances with each of us is such a gift. So please feel free, if you feel to. If there's anything you would like to share about this discovery and this uncovery of clarity and the lenses of distortion and nature, consciousness, please feel free to unmute yourself and make an offering in this sacred space where it is held.
Hi, Sabina. It's Lynn.
Well, hello, Lynn. Hello, love.
Okay, so I'm really in the syncs of what you're saying today. Like from beginning to now, like I'm really in the same wavelength. And that always makes me feel good. And like I'm more in sync than I think ever. Like this is the most in sync. Anyways, so when we called in our special being, I called in a sprout, the energy of a sprout.
Oh.
And so then when the sprout was looking at me and I was looking at the sprout, it was so cohesive, and it where its roots touched the earth were really lighting up to me, like really lit. And suddenly I started to see, it's maybe hard in words, but I started to feel the vibration of it and how it was feeling the vibration of my body, like a tuning fork back and forth. And I start to feel that its body, its energy in its body was so, because of it's connected to the whole earth, it's actually as big as the earth.
Oh.
Then I really started to get in the visceral vibrational feelings of oneness, of physical oneness. Like that's always confusing to my body, individually and then oneness. And then I could start to really sense how big this little sprout is. And then as it's so big and so cohesive, and then it's looking at me so tenderly and non-judgmentally and wholly, I could really feel how my body is so used to not being present. And in fact, the one loves our individuality to be fully present and fully feeling how the oneness is. It's like so inside out and backwards. Like, this individual oneness.
Yeah.
And like the more individual and the more cells in my body that are alive and present and uniquely feeling this oneness is like augmenting the oneness.
Oh, yes. All from that little sprout.
Yeah, the
You were
little big
meeting.
sprout.
Little big sprout, and you're meeting yourself there. Wow.
Yeah, it was really great because it got me to feel my normal shame or withering, not fully feeling every patterns within my body, and to really let my cells really be here. And it's really good for everything for me to really allow myself to be here
Yes.
and resonating friendly with this sprout. Yeah, so great.
Well, Lynn, it is the most precious offering. And with all of my heart, I thank you for sharing. Again, so fresh, here and now. And I just want to say that when I was sitting preparing for the gathering, I was sitting on the ground right here. There's a little sprout that I tuned into. And this little sprout opened me in such a way. And now your experience has opened me and us all, trying to see if I can find it. I'm going to show you the little sprout that I was sitting with this morning, somewhere right here on the ground. Let me see. If I sit back here, well, the little sprout might have gotten stepped on by a big hoof.
That's okay with that. The
It
sprout's fine.
absolutely is okay with that. Absolutely is okay. But yes, the sprout vibrating like a tuning fork, that's so powerful. As big
And the
as the whole earth.
the kind of question I'm having is like when we're in this unified experience, it's so easy. And then when I go out on my own and I have more trouble feeling the unity, and my mind starts moving more.
Yeah.
It like how like I know this world is moving toward a one heart more and more and more, but in this transition time, how to maintain that oneness feeling when we're out on our own, scurrying around the earth in different frequencies and different things going on.
I know. It's been a huge journey for us all, and for me, so much so. And just this week, I had this experience where the going out into the world actually became a going deeper into myself. And that was really powerful. So it didn't feel so much like going out into the world, even though I was out in the world. It felt like a going deeper into myself.
Mm.
And there is where the roots all converge, says the sprout. So just play with it. Allow that root system to evolve. It might even get stepped on. And that's okay.
I feel like I'm sitting here with so much excitement bubbling up inside of me because almost everyone has tapped into something that I brought to our gathering today. And I want to tell them this. Oh, I'd like to share this part. Oh my gosh, there's that. Sabina, you wove such a beautiful tapestry for us to come out and step onto. There was almost nothing left out in just your very simple framing. So I want to thank you very much for your opening and thank the herd as well. So I would like to share. Yesterday, I was attending a global elders conference, and it's going today, it was going all day yesterday, and I didn't feel any energy to go. I'd signed up for it, but I suddenly started to feel energy to go, and I rushed and finished what I was doing and opened up Zoom, and there was Grandmother Flora de Mayo. And she is one of the 13, in part of the 13 original grandmothers. And I feel such a relationship with her. This is not the time to talk about that.
I have met her, by the way.
So her theme that she wove throughout her talk were seeds. And here we're talking about sprouts. Isn't that wonderful? I know.
Yeah.
So then, while there was the talking going on here, I kept seeing like a little, actually it wasn't little, it was quite tall form that was female, and she was carrying a group or a bunch, whatever you call it, of flowers. So I thought, okay, we went from seed yesterday to sprouts today, and now we've got the flowers. And that's really cool. We've evolved already just in this gathering. There's more. I'm just so excited to be able to share this. I had hoped to get it written up before I came, but I wasn't able to do that. It'll come, hopefully. There's just so much coming into me constantly. I can't get it all down. I have to actually stop because I implode myself. I got to do this. I want to do this. Oh, let me do that. And I just can't do it all. So I'm trying to learn how to speak more slowly, go from one thing to the next, take a rest if I need to do that. So this woman, or who the female, the feminine entity bringing the flowers were an amazing color it's one of our new colors. It's a combination of magenta and orange and a little bit of gold woven through it. And you don't see the colors individually, they're one color. And she was just kind of dancing around us and waving it all around us. She was having the best time dancing. So I love this. This morning as I went into my meditations, I noticed I was carrying a piece of yuck energy with me. And it's been a yuck energy every time it comes. And it's coming often because it has to do with the person who lives above me in this apartment. He is giving me so many opportunities to get over that particular yuck. And finally this morning, I just said, what is it that I'm supposed to get from this? I'm tired of, going back and forth with this guy. It's just, I'm carrying a lot of baggage with that. Mm-hmm. And it's because he's a smoker, and smokers are allowed to go outside whenever they want, stay out as long as they want, and the rest of us are not allowed to even open our doors or sit and talk with someone across the hall.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's very, very, very imbalanced. So it has really grabbed that place in me that says it's just not fair. But what's fair? We have to still deal with what's on our plate, and that's on my plate. So because he's a smoker, I thought, well, I've smoked. I know what it's like to have to get off of that addiction. I spent a lot of time doing that. And I said, okay, this has to do with that. And then I went into when I was given the opportunity to put down the cigarettes, it was through a healing from two very, very beautiful friends and powerful healers. And it was put to me suddenly. I was not prepared for it. I didn't have any thought of this, but I knew that I had to do it. I had to say, yes, I want to stop right now. And they said, you have to do it right now. So what I was given was whenever I would go to touch something, I would send light through my fingers. Whenever I would go to sit down, I would send light through my bottom. Whenever I went to step, I send light through the bottoms of my feet. And then I got so I'm touching light and light's coming back to me, like through here, I'm touching the handle of my walker here. So I send it out and it's coming back. It's out and coming back. But that was years ago. And I thought, okay, let's go to the next place. Well, one of the things that came to me earlier was that our rainbow consciousness has now come to Earth. It's not out there in the ethers anymore. We have finally done what we need to do to get it here on Earth. Now, it's just barely touching, but that means there are a lot of us who have already cleared what we need to clear through our chakras, through anything that has to do with the rainbow colors that anybody relates to. It's wherever you are with that. And this just brought such a tremendous amount of gratitude to me because I've been working with the rainbow forever and way beyond what we think of as rainbow out there. It's so deep. And I was aware of when some of the new colors started coming into the rainbow, when there was the aqua teal color, and then there was a lighter version of what I just described with the orange, magenta, gold. And there's just been a number of new colors that are now on Earth. And the basic rainbow is now also here. So what then came to me was, okay, you've got the rainbow. It's in you. You have it available now. Send the rainbow out when you touch something. Send the rainbow out through your feet. Bring it through your body. Bring it through in however it comes. And I'm trying not to get in my head because I wanted to go back and relate it to something you said, Sabina, but I'm just going to forget the head part. I'm just so excited for humanity, for what this means. Then I was invited to go to Pandora's box. And I went, oh no, I've gone to Pandora's box so many times. I don't want to go anymore. The answer said, just lift up a little bit, lift a little bit. Get my rainbow to Pandora's box and lifted it up with a rainbow. And I looked and there wasn't any of the distortion that I always would see before. It would be flying out, all distorted stuff. And there wasn't anything. And it wasn't dark, but it wasn't light. There was just almost a gentle, no-thing space. As I opened it further, and I'm saying, why am I doing this? The answer, the response was, all of the distortion has been handled. You don't have to do any more of that work at the deeper levels. We don't have to go deeper with any of that now. Bring your rainbow, bring your particular color, bring your particular flower, bring whatever it is that you are most attracted to right now. Bring it through your body to touch that thought. If it's they're all going to be old thoughts at this point. There's not going to be anything new. So touch the old thought and thank it. Thank it with the rainbow. Thank it with your flower. Thank it with your sprout. Thank it with whatever it is that you are feeling full and fulfilled right now. And I came here with such wonder because my my mission has been with an awareness of the planetary reflections and the planetary connections. So I'm just so delighted to be here and to be with this group and what we get to share together and with the herd. I just love watching. Who is over your shoulder? Is that Travis?
You know, this is Yoshi breathing into my left eye.
I know, he's just awesome. I've been watching him and how he is connecting with you in such an incredible.
Well, I think connecting like through your words and into the group space.
Right. I understand. Anyway, thank us.
Bless you. Thank you for sharing that. What a journey you are on, and the beauty of the journey that you describe is palpable. Thank you, Joie.
Mm. Thank us all. Everyone is a part of this.
Yeah,
Everyone.
it is a tapestry of many new colors.
And we're walking here.
Hi, Joie. This is Lynn. I maybe you could, when Sabina posts this thing, maybe you could make yourself known on the message, and I'll message you because I'm really interested in this rainbow light. Maybe we could connect about that.
Sure.
After?
I use the chat on Facebook. I don't use the messenger, whatever that is connected with, but I think they go both places.
You'll find each other. We'll make sure, and I'll post
Okay.
something in the private group space.
Do that.
Thanks.
Thank you. I would love to share.
Would anyone else like to share? Let's just breathe for a moment in the beauty, like the animals do. Just for a moment, breathing in the offerings and see how they percolate and dance within you. And then if you feel to, unmute and share away.
Sabina, it's Tracy.
Oh, let me find you. Where are
I don't know how to find, I'm not on video.
It's okay, love. No problem. No problem. I can hear you just beautifully. Welcome.
I tried to. I want to
That's
see all your
okay.
beautiful faces.
Oh, well, we hear you.
I just wanted you to know that I'm here and I'm so powerfully enjoying this.
Oh, love.
I don't really have anything to share except thank you.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear your voice. So glad to hear your voice. Thank you for joining us.
I'm just in awe.
Well, I'm in awe of you.
Thank you all.
I'm in awe too of all who gather here. It's profound. Mary, did you want to say something, love?
Well, just when there was a space, I wanted to try to, without taking too much time, to share a very recent experience I had actually last night late. And it was profound in relation to, you know, the all are one. And therefore, when things happen outside of me, actions of others directed towards me, you know, that somehow, I mean, it's me too, somehow. And my screen froze, but is the audio still flowing?
Yes, it's still
Okay.
flowing.
Okay. So Yeah, so as many of you know, and of course you do, Sabina, we've had this have this precious little wee baby foal that I've been so immersed in nursing back to health, and he's doing amazing now. And I don't know if you can see because my screen is frozen right here. um,
Oh, I wish we could.
well, it'll probably come back on.
Yeah.
He's right here, and I mean to the point that quite a many nights, he's actually been in the camper with us, and I've been feeding him every 2 hours and all of that. Okay, and we're past that now. I mean, he's doing amazing, but I've been sharing that publicly, and so many hearts have just poured in, so much love, connecting with him, and then last night, this Facebook friend that I'm familiar with, I know her, I don't know her super well, but, she wasn't a complete stranger. She tags me in this post. And for some reason, I felt compelled to follow it. And I start reading this post. And basically, it's this long, drawn out post about how um, wrong it is to humanize the horse's emotions, and how wrong it is to, even when it was citing examples of when a baby horse might need to be have rehabilitation because maybe they can't nurse, and it was
Yeah.
very,
Oh, I see.
and it's,
Yeah.
and it's saying how when people bring them inside and they do all, it's so wrong, and you create this monster of a horse when they grow up.
By the
And
way, just to let you know, I don't know if you can see, but Teddy is listening
Teddy,
to.
of course,
Yeah.
of course, yeah.
Yeah. Go on.
So yeah, so my heart starts to race as I'm reading this thing, and I've really tried to work hard on not taking in outside projections, but for some
Mhm.
reason this one like hit me below the belt. Like I didn't know it was
Mhm.
coming. I thought I was
Mhm.
going to read something beautiful, so I guess that was
Yeah.
like I went really open. And she just tagged and she said, "Oh, I agree completely. I have a friend that's doing exactly this." And
Oh
then
dear.
Mary Miller Jordan, And I was so I
Wow.
sat with it. I went through all the, do I delete her? Do I comment? Do I add
Mm.
energy to this? Do
Mm.
I just look at, and so I finally surrendered to just looking at it. And I watched my ego, like stomping its feet and its face turning red, and,
Yeah.
saying all these things. And then, so in the member space for I Am Heard for the Mustang Sanctuary, which, this little one is so present in, I had recently posted about one of our Mustangs. Her name's Gabriella, and she was so aggressive when she came in from the wild, to the point that, I mean, she despised me. She tried to charge me, so dangerous that I really had to surrender like all training tactics and just communicate with her over the fence for quite
Yep.
a long time. And as I was doing those things, I mean, I knew some of these things I'm doing, people would think would be creating more of a monster. I mean, here I am handing her treats through the fence, and she's got her teeth bared. And if there was a method to it, and a comprehension that she had. And now we're in this present moment where she is just softening into this completely amazing being.
Yep.
Okay, so I had posted about her in the member space, and one of our precious members had responded, and she made the comment, she says, "May we all unfold disgracefully." And as I read
Right.
that, I
Yeah.
thought,
I read that. Yeah.
okay, as I read that, I thought, there is nothing that feels graceful about my unfolding right now. And as I read that, I thought, that's love. This mare, this wild Mustang mare, has not given a flying fart, though she would have used a different F word than that, what I thought through her unfolding process. She took the time she needed she let it unfold in the space that it was meant to unfold, even with energetic healings that you supported me on. You know, she let us know when she was ready and when she was not. And we honored that because, well, what else are you going to do? And then now there's this new present moment, and there's this entirely new being that the depth of connecting with her just takes me to my knees. Like, I just want to walk around crawling in her shadow. She's so magnificent.
Yeah.
And now she's starting to trust me. And there was some parallel in those two storylines that somehow resonated for me. And so I responded to that comment about, may we all unfold so gracefully. And I just said, you know, I reminded her of that this Gabriella Wild Mustang has honored her own time and space. And when other people come along and project, it's just a no thing. It's just not even in her awareness.
Yeah.
And through that, there was just a freedom. Still though from kind of a separation, because there's a bit of she's doing this to me and I'm just not going to allow it. So that's a little not really one, but yet I kind of had to go there to feel free from it.
Yeah.
And then in that, I get a response from this amazing soul that's in that member space. And that message had helped. She said, I can go to sleep now because I had an experience that was so hard today. And this woman is, I mean, she's like, all of you in this group, it would be like somebody attacking Sabina. Like, it would be like, how could anyone even attack this woman? Like, what?
Oh, it's
I mean,
possible.
She's so kind. She's just, this woman is just like heart
Yeah.
shaped, walking around on feet. She
Yeah.
is.
I know.
And so to think of someone attacking her for any reason was so.
Well, she's a very elevated soul, actually.
She is very. But yet
Like
she
a
had,
truly embodied, elevated soul. Yeah.
yes. But yet she had experienced the same
Right.
feeling that I
Right.
had.
Right. She
And
got
yet-
kicked below the belt by a projection.
She did, by a projection that yet was separate, but yet not somehow. And my
Yeah.
girl, I don't get it, you know, but somehow the oneness, the piece for me that brought me back to the oneness was that connection, how all of that was so woven. And
Yes.
how this precious little foal, you know, sparked this fury for whatever reason,
Yes.
you know, of me being too kind, letting him in the house. Like, maybe when he grows up, he's going to knock on the door and insist that he has to come in or something. I don't know. You know, he's going to do something very unruly when he gets to be 8 hands tall. And
Right.
anyway, and then there's this wild Mustang mare that has just owned her path with such fierceness that it leaves me just humbled in awe of her. And then there's this amazing soul that's walking this same path, and somehow we all came together, and somehow it all just like folded in, like the unfolding folded back in, and it just layered upon layered, and there's that stack of papers that are all like one again. And somehow from that space, I didn't even care about what the lady said anymore. Like, I just,
Yep.
I did not care. I did care. Like, I just felt love. I didn't dislike her for it.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
feel sorry for her for it. It just became a no thing again. And I just felt love for just her as an individual.
Yeah.
And now it's like in the air, and it's I guess it's growing a flower somehow, you know, being breathed into a tree.
It really is amazing to see the distortions become conscious.
Mm.
You know? Ew, what's he doing? Hi. He wants to stretch. I think I'll move. To see the distortions become conscious, and then to see clarity come through the unified field. That's what I see in what you in the experience that you just spoke of. I see the exact experience really of the transmissions of story and character and, you know, all of those lenses kind of becoming conscious and then being held by the grace of clarity. And the teaching of Gabriella of how not to be fazed by projections is something that is so powerful at teaching. It was another lens that was coming through to bring into consciousness, which I will dive into in the member group next week for clarity and projections, because that lens of projection is so confusing and painful until it's not. So thank you, Mary, for sharing that so freely, freshly. Thank all the characters in the story as one heart appearing separate. Was there anything else you wanted to say, Mary?
I think you've said it.
Oh. Bless your heart. So here we are in the simplicity, right here, right now. Bringing lenses of light dancing through distortion. Distortion is a creativity. Bringing those lenses, those creative lenses of infinite colors.
Maybe that was the waving of the flower. Just
Yes.
taking the distortions and just kind of flicking them off. And
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Becoming a flower.
But it was on a wand.
Mm.
Flick it.
Hmm.
Over into it. Just psh, psh, psh.
Hmm. That effortless.
Mm. That brings a lot of tears and joy to my heart. Believe me.
Oh, bless your tears and joy. Hmm.
Hi, Sabina.
Hello, who is this?
It's Joe.
Oh, Joe, it's so wonderful to share this space with you.
Hi, it's so lovely to see you. I
too.
just wanted to ask who's behind you now?
Right now, this is Khalil.
Oh, is it a mare or
It's a gelding, yeah, a gelding.
a gelding? Oh, it captured me earlier. I caught
Oh.
sight of his eyes, and it was like they just kind of, there was an instant connection.
Oh, yes, 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 yes.
Even now, I'm just drawn to his eyes. Yeah.
Yes, yes, I can see like a similarity really in his aura and yours.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful.
Yes, he
I
is.
feel my my heart was like really pounding just a minute ago, really pumping hard, like
Mm,
palpitation.
mm,
And
mm.
then when I captured his eyes, I felt that the softness come through, and
Wow.
he looks very relaxed now. Very relaxed. Yeah.
He
Look,
is.
yeah.
He is super grounded and
Uh-huh.
embodied fully and very relaxed. And about a foot away is Teddy. And oftentimes they have little games that they play. But right now they're just breathing here with you. Look. So here's Teddy.
Oh, wow.
And
Hi,
here's
Teddy.
Khalil.
Oh, wow. Amazing.
And no rivalry right now.
Wow. I just feel like I want to reach out and touch.
Well, you are. And he is. And I'm so grateful that you allow that, really that connection to be felt beyond distance, because it's an energetic connection that's going on, and it's not limited at all to locale.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. Whew.
Thank you so much for being here, Joe. I was so hoping that one of these days you'd be able to join us. I always feel you so near.
Oh, bless you. You're an incredible inspiration, and I just love
You are
everything you
too.
do.
You are
And
too.
it was so lovely to see Mary, to hear Mary.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so lovely to see her, and
Yes.
to know that the babe is doing so well just makes me feel so happy. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's incredible.
I know. We're all so connected. It's incredible. And then when we see each other and we really see,
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, here we are.
Yeah.
Because I feel that connection, but really here it is in front of our eyes. It is very special.
It is. Yeah, it is. Much love. Much love to you.
Love, Joe. So much, so much. Yes, we're all quite the open hearts. The open hearts with a harmonic intention. And please, if you feel to take part in the member group weekly and you cannot pay a monthly membership, do not hesitate. You know that that's just part of a possibility, but it's fluid. Okay? All right. To you,
I'd
to
love
all. Yeah, to you, to all. Okay, good. I don't know how it gets communicated, so I want to make sure that that's clear. Love you.
Okay. I love you too.
Mwah. Khalil licks and chews. That's beautiful, Khalil. Oh, yes. So there's Yoshi coming in. So beloved, feel yourself deeper now. As it appears that we moved out to connect with one another, there's also a moving in. That's what we're discovering. This is the root system of the sprout. As the sprout becomes as big as the whole world, under the ground, connected with all. Stories can be woven, lenses of past and future can be overlaid. Identification as a character in a story might come and go. But in one breath, allowing these lenses to become conscious, changes everything. And so here and now, a breath of clarity. It can only be taken here and now and given here and now. And we'll ripple this out, this alchemy from the depths within, where inner and outer melt into one. So much love to you all. Endless, endless gratitude. May we blossom as one. Thank you for being here. I'm going to spend a little time with Travis over there in silence. You can feel free to breathe with us. Until we meet again, love, blessing. Thank you, Yoshi. And thank you to all the beings supporting, holding, creating. And a little time with Taz. Yeah, exactly. Exactly like that. Now Khalil is being a little bit possessive. It happens. Happens to the best of us. We'll see you soon, beloveds. Thanks again.